So if you're 21 years of age and you're watching this, like just a little tip. Would have liked to have known this. Would have liked to have known this a long time ago. When we think like we're like building up these chips, right? We're building up like a big stack. We're about to go all in. We're going to push it all in. We're playing no limit hold'em, right? I mean, we're just, and then we figure out we got like 2. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. So is it fair that I've been keeping score the wrong way for years? Apparently, men and women keep score differently in relationships. I didn't understand it before. I thought if you make a decent living and maybe you bring in a good amount one year, you build up some chips. Let's say we're playing like Texas Hold'em or something, and we're building up our chips as dudes, right? Okay, we're dudes. Dudes think when we're playing Texas Hold'em that we're building up our chips. We did well. We made a bunch of money this year. We feel inside that we need to be a provider. And I'm just saying biologically, like what is inside of our heads and our hearts and our soul, it's ingrained in us from like the beginning of time. That hasn't gone away. Things have changed significantly, and their roles have changed, have significantly moved in a direction of much more equality, but it still doesn't take away the fact that innately in our minds and in dudes' minds, we believe that we are here to provide and we are here to keep our mate and our family secure. So when we do things like make money, provide a house, provide a suitable living arrangement, a roof over our head, whatever, we feel like our chip stack is, World Series of Poker, right? We're at the final table. We're at the final 8, right? We're doing good. Unfortunately, the score is different. The score is different for men and women. Stop whining about it that women and men are different, okay? And that doesn't make it a bad thing. That doesn't make it something that just because you don't get, if you're making $5 million a year, right? You don't get 5 million chips. You don't even get 50 chips. You get 1 chip. 1 flippin' chip. I hope that blows your mind. Because if you think this way, then you're way ahead of the game. But most people don't. Most guys do not feel that way. We feel, and I did for a long time, I felt that if I brought in a suitable living and enough to keep my family stable and whatever, I'm a lawyer. I'm a divorce lawyer. Okay, this is where they roll the little thing. William S. Foley Divorce. I own a law firm, a divorce lawyer. I'm a lawyer, okay? So I think we can agree that I make at least enough of a living that I can support my family. And my understanding was that was kind of like enough, right? And then my chips have built up. I'm pushing a whole bunch of chip stacks into the middle every damn year. I was putting in 1 chip. And, bringing home a rose is also a chip. I don't get a lot of flowers. I don't. And that's a personal, that's something with me. I'm more of like a utilitarian gifter. Like, I feel like, there needs to be some purpose behind the gift. That's different between men and women. And that's also, and some men are just better at that. And that's something I'm personally working on. But something I didn't understand is like, that's a chip, that rose, that thought of, doing something for them on their way out the door in the morning when they're about to go take the kids to school, making them coffee, or, they're on their way to work and you remember, you forgot this or whatever. Little things, these little chips. I mean, I guess if you do like 50 of those and then to get the 50, but in our brains, we feel that if we're making more, and some couples, they're making exactly the same. Sometimes, the woman is making more than the man in the relationship. So there may be a difference in income between the man and the woman. But let's just say that this situation that we're talking about is the man's making more than the woman. And if the man is bringing in a paycheck which is enough that they feel that they've brought in 50 chips for that month or year or day or whatever it is in their mind, from the other's perspective, it's, well, you brought in those, in your mind, 50 chips, which was one, but you weren't there for little Rebecca's recital, or weren't there for little Timmy to help him with his homework because you're working late. And I mean, I don't know the answer to that. I'm still trying to, this whole chip thing still is kind of blowing my mind, but it's true. I mean, if it's not, let me know. You can put in the comments below and be like, and I'm probably looking from the female perspective, not the male perspective, because the male perspective is going to be like, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Women and men are different. Who cares? We're different. Deal with it. Learn the differences. And embrace those differences. Just a little act of kindness, or just a hug, or just something, a little gift here and there, thinking about them, writing them a love note or a letter. To think that that's the same as pulling in a cool 10 mil a year or something, I think that blows a lot of people's minds. If all things are equal, we gotta figure out like how we're not leaving somebody else, expecting or needing and wanting more when we feel like maybe we've done enough. But that's just a difference in understanding, and this is based upon some studies. So I'm not just kind of pulling this out of a hat. And even when I run it by my wife, and she's like, "Yeah, you didn't know that? Are you kidding me?" You're not given a manual. So test it out for yourself. If you're a guy watching this and you're like, "What? I don't understand. Like, I'm making a good living and I bought a new Lexus, put a gigantic red bow on it like they told me to during Christmas. That's one chip." Maybe some women are like, "That's 2 chips." But it's not as much as we think. We think like, "Oh, that's a whole bunch of chips. Now I can just go do all that football game over here. Peace out. See ya." I'm a dude. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, this appears to be, I've figured it out at 41 years of age. So if you're 21 years of age and you're watching this, like, just a little tip. Would have liked to have known this. When we think like we're like building up these chips, right? We're building up like a big stack. We're about to go all in. We're going to push it all in. We're playing no limit hold'em, right? I mean, we're just, and then we figure out we got like 2. That can be something that maybe a light bulb will come on and say, oh, okay. That's why our relationship is suffering, because we're not playing the same game. We're not keeping score the same way. Seems to be this is like, guys, this is for reals. This is for realsies. So we got to figure out our chip count and realize that just by making a significant income or big grandiose gifts just at Christmas time is not going to be enough to cover up all the ridiculous amounts of things that we do throughout the year consistently. And especially if we have a spouse or a partner that's absolutely killing it, thinking about us and doing things on a daily basis and building, because in their mind, if it's chip, and little things, because it's all the same. It's all the same when we're counting it. Maybe we should think about that. We can't be like, "Well, yeah, when I get my bonus, my little lady, she's gonna get in a new jet ski." That's right. You might be riding that jet ski by yourself. Just a heads up. So I hope it makes sense. I hope it can help you. It's starting to help me as I continue to, work on my own self. And even after being with my wife for 20 years, again, that's part of this whole relationship series, is working on your relationship, working each day and doing these things to better your relationship. And this is obviously a little little tip for men, but for women as well, that maybe a lot of men don't know this. That means if they don't know or don't agree, they're not doing it. And they're not looking at it the same perspective. So that is also something that could be for, from a female perspective of like, oh, he's thinking that just because like he made an income and went to work and did that, that's enough. And it's not. So this is something that could help. So make sure you're keeping track of your chips.